Finally, a 3-0 sweep, baby. NBA betting is just too easy. Let's talk some basketball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we are back to talk some more basketball, this time with a smile. It is about freaking time. Get the brooms out. We had a sweep. And if you didn't know already, the cold intro, I was being sarcastic. NBA betting is absolutely difficult, so I am going to enjoy this sweep, but it's just one day. After a rough couple weeks, one day doesn't do a ton for me. I want to string together some wins, so I'm back to the grind, and hopefully we can keep that going. But that was awesome, even though those were all sweaty. It was tough. We're going to talk about them here in a little bit, but quick heads up: we are going to have a golf video out Tuesday night for the big Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass. Preview the course, the tourney, and give you our golf best bets. And then today's Tuesday, so that means it's time for NBA Tuesday talk. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about that short that was just out. We mentioned yesterday we're going to release daily shorts at about noon every single day. It's going to be some fun NBA talk. Thank you guys for participating, for those that did. And I'm going to give you my answer in that. But before we do, and the question real quick was start, sit, cut. And it's Chris Paul, Steve Nash, and Allen Iverson. What would you do on start, sit, cut? Obviously, you're cutting a really good player, but the best answer I think we got was from at YT Nate the Legend 3697. He would start Steve Nash, sit Chris Paul, and cut Allen Iverson because he didn't want to practice. Practice? We talk about practice? Yeah, that was a great answer. I laughed. Anyways, my answer. Let's go over this. I would start Allen Iverson. In my opinion, God, that guy could just score on absolutely anybody. He had that kind of killer mentality on offense. And he carried some weaker teams. I know it's easy to compare who won more, but he didn't have the greatest of teams all the time. He did have some, obviously, but I just got to go Iverson. He's just got that mentality that I like. Sit Steve Nash, which is pretty much means I still want him on the team because I liked watching him play. He was unorthodox. I mean, he was a guy who would dribble all over the court. I was just talking to Ryan about this before the video. He would literally just dribble all the way underneath the hoop, all the way to the other side of the court, just waiting for his little spot, waiting to find somebody. So crafty with the ball, so fun to watch, and a very underrated three-point shooter, in my opinion. So he was awesome. And then we got to cut Chris Paul. This ain't easy. Obviously, we're talking Chris Paul in his prime. Here's my big reason. He just whines all the time. That's it. He just complains a lot. He's an unbelievable player, an unbelievable passer in his prime. He was awesome. Probably the best defender out of these three as well. So maybe it's the wrong decision. I mean, guys, you could make an argument for all three of these. They're pretty awesome. But that's what I would do. I'd start Iverson, sit Steve Nash, and cut Chris Paul if I had to choose. That's the Tuesday talk. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. And of course, at noon, we're going to have another short again coming out. Ryan's been working on those. I'll be doing some of them. So it's going to be difference. Some days will be 1-versus-1. You guys pick, and who'd you start a franchise with, and start, sit, cut, all that kind of stuff. It's fun to talk basketball. So I appreciate you guys. I'll call out some answers too in this video as well. So anyways, I got 2 dad jokes before we get into the video, and they're baseball themed because baseball is right around the corner, baby. My favorite sport, and I can't freaking wait. So here we go. Joke number 1. Did you hear the joke about the pop fly? Never mind. Forget it. It's over your head. That was corny. Okay, here we go. Why are some umpires chubby? Because it's their job to clean their plates. Not bad. I don't know. Those are both pretty corny. Anyways, in this video, we're going to recap yesterday, and I'm going to do it with a smile this time. 3-0 sweep. Defenses that give up the most points, rebounds, and assists to the shooting guard position because it is Tuesday. And then we'll give you our best bets and wrap it all up with the bets recap again. So hit that like button. Leave a comment below like you guys always do, and you guys are crushing it. I love reading your comments every single day. I appreciate it. The main reason we want to start this channel is to communicate with the community. Anyways, talk with you guys, talk sports, because sports is my number one passion, other than, my kids and wife and all that, right? I'm supposed to say that. But anyways, that's what we got. Enough rambling. Let's get into it, and it starts with the recap. All right, there it is, guys. Finally, the 3-0 sweep I have been just dying for. It started out with the Suns money line. That was crazy. It started out terrible. The Suns were down like 18 at one point. Darius Garland went absolutely berserk in the first half. Luckily, the Suns calmed down, figured out, I know this line move. This was insane. It was plus 100, then minus 130, which is when I gave it out, and it got up to over minus 200 today. A 6-point spread. I told you I'd take it up to 4.5. Luckily, if you did take that, before it got too bad, the Suns did cover that. They won by 6. So it was kind of crazy with the odds. I haven't seen a game move like that in a while. The next one, holy crap, Luka Doncic, under 54.5 PRA. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a genius. I called it, blah, 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 because he was absolutely on fire. He came out in the first quarter. I thought he might get a triple-double in the first quarter. It was terrible. But here's what I was about to get extremely, extremely mad. Whenever I bet overs and there's a blowout, they never play the fourth quarter. Luka decided, or Jason Kidd decided, he was going to play in the fourth quarter all the way until under 7 minutes to go. Up 30-something points. It was an absolute blowout. It was an obvious way to stat pad to see if he could get his 30-point triple-double. He already had the triple-double, but he had 27 points. It was a joke. If he would have hit one of those threes, he took 3 threes within like the span of a minute, with halfway through the fourth quarter, up by 1 million, trying to get the 30 points. I'm so thankful he didn't hit all 3. You can call me lucky. I'll take that. But he should not have been in the game because that was an absolute blowout. Either way, I will gladly take the win. He ended on 53, I think. Yeah, I don't know if I can take another Luka under for a while. That was just too much for my stress levels, that's for sure. He is unbelievable. The last one, B-Pods. Brandon Podziemski, the added play, over 10.5 rebounds plus assists. He ended with 12. He got the job done for a 5th time in 5 games without Steph Curry. Had a good fourth quarter. He ended up with 8 rebounds, so that was nice. So a 3-0 day. Overall record, as you guys know, from 15 units up down 2 units. We hit rock bottom. We are now on the plus. Barely. Doesn't even really count. So we're practically even. But here we go. That was needed. That was a 3-0 day. And that's the recap for yesterday. And now, before we get into the best bets, let's talk some shooting guards. All right, we start out with the points given up to the shooting guard position. Those are the defenses giving up the most in the last 15 days. We got 2 matchups for you today. Spurs 25.98 points per game facing Jalen Green and the Houston Rockets, who will be with Alperen Şengün. He's averaging 24 points per game himself. And then we got the Clippers giving up around 24, facing Anthony Edwards, the #1 scorer for all shooting guards last 15 days, averaging about 26 points per game. So there's that. And then all the rest of the guys, take a screenshot. Hopefully this gets you some winners today and the rest of the week. And then let's go check out the rebounds. We got the Harry Potters facing Zaire Williams and the Memphis Grizzlies at 5.3 rebounds per game. Nobody gives up more rebounds like the Wizards. They do it like they are just paid to do it. It's unbelievable. Clippers, 7.16 rebounds per game given up to shooting guard position. And there's the Ant-Man again. Anthony Edwards, 4.5 rebounds per game. And those are the only 2 matchups. But there's some other players up there for the rest of the week. And then let's go check out the assists. Only got 2 matchups there. The Utah Jazz hosting the Derek White and the Boston Celtics. Derek White, 7.3 assists per game. The Jazz giving up over 5.5 assists per game to that position. And then the Memphis Grizzlies giving up almost 5.5 assists, facing Jordan Poole. What a stud Jordan Poole is, of the Washington Wizards, at 5.1 assists per game. So that's what we got for the points, the rebounds, and the assists for the shooting guard position. Now it's time for the best bets. All right, this segment of the show is brought to you by our sponsor, Better Bet. That's BTR Bet, the best place to find, track, analyze, and share your bets. Again, we will have a video out for you in the next couple days. It's going to be exciting. They are an awesome app to use, but we'll talk more detail about it. The link is below if you want to go check it out. So here we go. First bet takes us out to Sacktown, Sacramento, California. We got the Kings hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks -2 total in this game, 237 against the spread. Bucks 28, 36 and 1, 14 and 19 ATS on the road, and then the Kings 31, 31 and 1 ATS. But they are an awful 11 and 18 against the spread at home, the second worst home ATS team to the Washington Wizards in the NBA. Over/unders: Bucks 33, 31 and 1 to the under. Kings 32, 28 and 3 to the over. Nothing big there. I'm not going with the player prop. I'm going with the side again. You can hopefully guess it. Give me the Bucks money line at -130 on DK. Lord help me. I'm going to say it just like I did for Luka's under yesterday. It's the Milwaukee Bucks. It's a team that has bit me many times this season. I'm going to trust them today, and they better come through. I'll say that. But let's talk about this matchup. We've got lots to talk about here. We know both teams are hard to trust, so there's that. But in the last 9 games, since the All-Star break, which is the last 9 games, the Bucks have the 7th best defensive rating. It's crazy. They've been playing some defense. Kings in that span, the 26th best defensive rating. It's like night and day. That's right. The team that I'm just taking to win the game at minus 130 has a much better defense right now than the Sacramento Kings. Offensive rating, Bucks 7th, Kings 5th overall. So about the same right there. Both been playing well, but the Kings do struggle at home on offense a little bit. They are 13th at home. That's right. So I mean, still good, but they're definitely not quite the same at home. I don't know what it is. It's just strange, but. And as you saw, the Kings aren't as good at home in general, so the home court advantage just does not mean that much to me in this game. Kings have been giving up a lot of runs. If you've been watching them, it just has not been pretty. I mean, even just last game, they gave up a 41-19 run to the Houston Rockets in the second and third quarter, and then they never looked back. The Rockets didn't. So I mean, it's just been one of those things where they've been struggling to stop momentum in some of these games, and I don't know what the deal is or why that's the case, but that's just how it is. When you have a bad defense, though, sometimes that happens. So, but here's the matchups I like in this game. These are all last 9 games. Kings have given up the second highest three-point percentage in the NBA last 9 games. That's right. They're giving up 40.5% three-pointer to their opponents in the last 9 games. Bucks, they score the 5th highest percentage of their points from the three-point line. That's right, in the last 9 games. And over the course of the season, they rely on hitting some threes, that's for sure. The Kings have also given up the 6th most free throws to their opponents. The Bucks, they get the 9th highest percentage of their points from the free throw line. They get to the rim, they draw fouls also. And the Kings have also scored the highest percentage of their points in the paint in the NBA. So that means they are obviously a very good team scoring in the paint. That's what they rely on. You got your boy like Sabonis. In the last 9 games, they get 51.6% of their points in the paint. The Bucks, that's a tough matchup for the Kings because the Bucks allow the 5th fewest points in the paint since the All-Star break. So it's just another matchup that is in favor of the Bucks. On the other side, the Kings have allowed the 5th most points in the paint since the All-Star break. That has not been pretty. Now, I know the Bucks aren't a team that relies on scoring in the paint. We already talked about it. They score in the three-point line. So you're probably thinking, well, why does that matter that the Kings are struggling in the paint? Well, it matters because the Bucks have a guy named Giannis. I just want to talk about that for a second. He's kind of decent at getting to the rim. I don't think he's going to struggle getting to the rim in this game as well. And also, on top of that, the Kings have given up the 3rd most points to the power forward position in the last 30 days. They have really struggled. And it's just maybe look at Giannis props as well if you want. But obviously, those are always high. But those are just a ton of good matchups, I think, for the Bucks. They're going to get to the free throw line. They're going to have chances to knock down some threes like a lot of their opponents have for the Kings. And the Bucks are very good at protecting the paint lately. So they got Brook Lopez, Giannis, all those guys. So in general, the Bucks are playing better. It's just a good matchup for them, in my opinion. The home court advantage doesn't do a ton for me. So I just love the Bucks in this one. Give me them on the money line at minus 130. Money line, I'd probably play to minus 135. Maybe minus 140 if you want to stretch it out, but then you got to start just taking minus 2.5, maybe minus 3, something like that. But if I can get minus 130 on the money line, I don't want to worry about it. Just like we had the Suns yesterday, ended up being a 6-point win, but it was tight. It could have been a 2-point win or something like that, and kind of messed me up. So that's my first best bet: the Bucks money line at minus 130. All right, this second bet is a player prop parlay. That's right. Give me Jalen Brunson 6+ assists and Colin Sexton 18+ points. I got this at minus 122 on DraftKings. Obviously, look around for different odds because ESPN Bet doesn't have alternate lines and other places don't right now, but this is all we got for tonight. So Jalen Brunson 6+ assists. Let's start out with that one. He is averaging about 13 potential assists per game without Julius Randle. Obviously, Randle is still out. In the 2 games versus 76ers that Brunson has played without Julius Randle, he has 12 and 8 assists. He averages 6.7 assists per game without Randle this year. So I just want to give you kind of all the numbers without Randle and how that all works. But now he's facing the 76ers yet again, who give up the ninth most assists to the point guard position in the last 15 days. In their game a couple days ago, my goodness, that game was freaking ugly. It was 79-73. I kid you not. If you missed it, congratulations, you were lucky. That was ugly. 79-73. So you're thinking, no way did Brunson have that many assists. He still had 8. Even though his team scored 73 points, he had 8 assists that game. And now he's going to get OG Anunoby back this game, finally, after like a 17, 18 game absence. And I think that only helps, obviously. It gives him another weapon to maybe hit threes, cut into the basket, things like that. The only way OG really knows how to score. But I don't think that's a detriment to him or anything like that. But I think he goes over this 6.5 line. I'm going to be honest with you. He has a ton of assists, ton of potential assists. I mean, 6.5 is already juiced at like minus 145. I think he goes over 6.5. It may be a ladder possibility to maybe go up to 8 or 9. If you want to get crazy, you could go a double double. If you want to do something like that, that's obviously a little bit of a long shot. But like I said, he already has 12 assists in one game versus this 76ers team. So Tyrese Maxey's coming back. That doesn't do much for me. Maybe helps. Maxey might speed up the game a little bit. Maxey doesn't play much defense, so that doesn't really affect anything. But give me Jalen Brunson to have 6 dimes. That's all I need. And then the second late is Mr. Colin Sexton, our boy. We've bet many times before. 18 plus points. I know he's a Utah Jazz player, which means we got to worry about the rotation. I'm not as worried right now. First of all those trades they did back in the All-Star break, but Lauri Markkanen is still out. And Hendricks is out as well. But I love the minutes that Colin Sexton is playing in the last 4 games. 31, 33, 32, and 35 minutes played the last 4 games. The last 3 in those, the 33, 32, and 35, are without Lauri Markkanen, who is obviously, like I mentioned, out again. So in the 6 games that he has played 30 plus minutes without Lauri. So Lauri off the court, and he's played 30 or more minutes, because there's been some games earlier this year he played like 15, 18. There's no need to count that because I expect him to play 30 or more minutes again. In those 6 games, he scored 18 plus points in 5 of those 6. And the only one he missed was a couple days ago when he did not shoot the ball well. He still shot 17 times and he scored 17 points. So he came 1 point short of hitting this in 6 of 6 games. He's averaging 23.5 points per game in those 6 games as well without Lauri. So he's not just barely going over. He's averaging 23.5. That's why you see this line at 21.5 where it is now. He took 17, 17, and 19 shots the last 3 games without Lauri. So the volume's there. I know Keontae George is a part of it, and they still got some other guys, but he is still shooting a lot. If he takes 17, 18 shots, and I just need 18 points, I will gladly take that. He's facing a Celtics team who's going to be on the second night of a back-to-back, and in Utah, that's never easy to do on the back-to-back. And yesterday, Celtics had Jaylen Brown questionable, Jason Tatum questionable. They did play. Porzingis was out. Drew Holiday was out. Who knows who they're going to sit? Maybe this is one of those games where they just sit everybody, which will make it even easier. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but whether a few of those guys are out, that could make this game more competitive as well. It's only a 6.5 point spread, I believe, right now. So, I expect a little bit of competitiveness in this one, but to me, this is all about volume and minutes. Obviously, the Celtics are. I'm not going to sit here and say they're a terrible defense or anything because they're a top 5 defense in the NBA, but they still give up some points. It's going to be in Utah. They're going to be tired after yesterday's game. I think he goes over 21.5. Like I said, he's averaging 23.5 with Lauri off the court when he's playing 30 or more minutes. So I just need 18. I think it's pretty safe for a guy that takes a lot of shots. He's aggressive. So give me Colin Sexton, 18 plus points. Jalen Brunson, 6 plus assists as my player prop parlay, and bet number 2 at minus 122 on DraftKings. Now, not every bet is out right now. It's only a 7 game slate in the NBA, so I'm just going to leave it with those 2 bets. And of course, I'm going to have my 3rd or maybe 4th added play in the morning in the pinned comments. We've been doing decent on those, so be sure to check those out. I'll have it out on Twitter and also in Discord right when I have it. So that's what we got for today. Let's check out the bets recap. All right, there it is. We got the Bucks money line at minus 130 on DraftKings. Again, I'd probably play this up to minus 135, minus 140. And then if you have to take the spread, I like minus 3 as well. I think they win. I think they win probably by 5 or more points in this game, to be honest with you. But next one, Jalen Brunson, 6 plus assists. Colin Sexton, 18 plus points. I get that at minus 122 on DraftKings. Those are my 2 bets for today, and then I'm going to have at least one more added play in the pinned comments. We also happen to go 5-1 in the leans that I gave out on Discord yesterday. So I'll try to give out some leans and maybe put that in the pinned comments as well. But if you're not a part of that Discord, go check it out. It's all free. And we just added a cool new feature, which we'll talk about here soon. But that Discord link is below. But anyways, let's have another sweep. I want 2 sweeps in a row. I'm not satisfied with one day, but it is a good start. So I appreciate all the support as always. If you haven't already, hit that like button, leave a comment below to help this channel grow as we're getting closer to 21,000 subscribers. Absolutely insane. But anyways, hope everyone has a great Tuesday, and we'll talk to you soon.